Next, a new dispatch from the difficult job market. NewsHour economics correspondent Paul Solman has long chronicled just how tough it is to get hired. Tonight, he looks at how one of the big changes in recent years, applying online, is not working for many seeking a job. It's part of his ongoing reporting, making sense of financial news.
At McLean Bible, a mega church in Vienna, Virginia, the appropriately mega Career Network Ministry. In a labor market increasingly dominated by online job search, this weekly event features sessions on taking psychological tests, selling yourself to interviewers.
I've been working in the consulting industry for the last 15 years, and quite frankly, I love it.
Marketing the brand that is you.
Your resume is going to tell what you've done in the past. Your marketing plan is going to tell what you want to do in the future.
Ministry volunteer John Franklin practices what he preaches. Whether he's employed, as he was at the time of this July taping, running training sessions for the State Department, or unemployed, as he was soon after, he is always looking for a job.
Because that's the nature of the job market today. If you get laid off today from a position, it could take you anywhere from 9 months to 2 years to find another job. And those layoffs can come at any time. Your phone could ring and someone could say on the other end of the line, "We're very sorry. Please pack up your things. Someone will be up to walk you out the door."
And you've gone through that?
Yes, I have. And 30 minutes later, I was out on the streets. It's just like you see in the movies.
Now, you'd think that with help-wanted ads migrating from print to the internet, job search would be easier these days. But no, says John Franklin, it's making things harder.
We've talked to a lot of people who come in here and they have binders full of all of the online ads that they've applied for, and they've printed out and they've put dates on them and notes, and they're as crushed as can be because they haven't heard anything back. I honestly think if you're going to be spending the bulk of your time at home doing nothing but answering job ads for 8 hours a day, you are not going to find a job.
8 hours a day? That's for pikers, says Ed Ezekian of Valley Forge, Pennsylvania.
I check the email and the job sites hourly.
Hourly?
From 7 in the morning till midnight.
Monster.com has 55 openings for this longtime IT sales executive. Unfortunately,
18 of them are basically straight commission selling lighting product jobs. They're not IT jobs. They're not high-paying jobs.
Okay, so there must be something on here out of 55. No?
Well, here's a job for selling mattresses at Sleepy's on straight commission.
Over at CareerBuilder.com, 25 openings supposedly tailored to Ezekian's experience.
Here's a job, the Welcome Wagon.
Uh-huh.
You know what the Welcome Wagon is? When somebody new moves in the neighborhood, they come out and they give you a bottle of wine and some free coupons.
Would you take a job with Welcome Wagon?
No, because it would be a part-time, no benefits, no salary job.
Enterprise rent-a-car, entry-level sales management trainee.
Yeah. At my age and based on my experience, the reality is that even if I wanted an entry-level job, I wouldn't be considered. I've tried that. It's resulted in 0 responses.
And yet, after 2 years without a single job offer, Ezekian keeps plugging away.
As a salesman, you get a lot of no's before you get yeses. But if you haven't been an outside salesman and you're trying to find a job in this marketplace, I honestly don't know what people do.
Some just give up, as did Sharon Moore, unemployed for 2 years, when we interviewed a group of the long-term unemployed last spring in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I wanted to apply for a state of Connecticut job, and it's daunting. And if you don't get through it in a certain amount of time, it just kicks your resume out.
Really? You mean there's a time limit?
Yes. Sorry, you've taken too long, we're timing you out. Start again.
Did you start again?
No.
Because you were too annoyed? Or?
It was 23 pages of stuff that you have to go through, and it was just like, I felt like I need a PhD just to get through the application process.
Joyce Hirsch has a PhD from Cornell and a law degree and 10 years' experience as a biotech patent attorney. But credentials don't seem to impress the software.
I do a lot of networking, and I meet a lot of other professionals in related fields, accounting, finance, regulatory, all kinds of things. And there are a huge number of really amazing people out there who are in a similar situation. And they can't get past the online software. They just can't seem to get an interview.
So what's going on? Are these frustrated job applicants overqualified? Underexperienced? Is it their age, their gender, their race? None of the above, says Wharton professor Peter Capelli.
So from this point on, the companies decide, you know what, we can't just have people coming in off the street to do these jobs.
He thinks the problem is that firms, big and small, have eliminated human beings from the hiring process.
They're trying to do things cheaply and efficiently, but most of them, I think, don't have the historical memory to even know that they didn't used to do things this way.
Capelli's Wall Street Journal article last year about job recruitment prompted a flood of responses, and his latest book, Why Good People Can't Get Jobs.
So I got 500 emails from the first article, people who've applied for jobs in their own company, for example, and couldn't get hired. You know, they pretended to be an applicant with the same abilities and resumes they have, and they got kicked out of the process. Somebody told me that they had 29,000 people apply for a reasonably standard engineering position, and nobody made it through the screening process. The software told them nobody was qualified.
In my view, that's absolutely insane.
Executive recruiter Nick Korkodilos runs an alternative website for job seekers, AskTheHeadhunter.com.
You have hiring managers who have a certain kind of work they need to have done. They write a simple description, they give it to HR. This gets reduced down to a bunch of keywords. You now have people who are trying to meet the keywords in the job description.
Or game the whole process.
There are people I've known who've taken the entire job description verbatim and plugged it into a part of the resume, not necessarily at the top so it's not too obvious. They plug it right in and they submit it, and they make it through the first few rounds.
But don't companies know this? And why would they still post ads online when surveys suggest that no more than a few % of all jobs are filled this way?
Whenever I do a presentation, I almost always ask the question, raise of hands, who found a job through a major job board? And virtually no one.
None of the internet job sites, including Monster and Career Builder, would grant us an interview. But back at McLean Bible Church, our own Anecdata suggested that they do have some reason for being.
How many of you have gotten a job through an internet job board?
More than just a few %.
How? What job?
I was a vice president position, education training with the association.
And when was this?
2003.
In the past 20 years, all the positions I've obtained have been through internet job boards.
Is it as effective today as it was in the beginning, do you think?
No, compared to 1990, there's a lot more competition.
And as we and others have often reported, companies are in the driver's seat these days, which is why networking groups have proliferated.
Several people are going to pop up, which is a perfect first-level contacts in your own field of work. So.
Pound the pavement, make phone calls, contact alumni organizations, go to job fairs, and build those kinds of networks that enable you to make the contacts that'll get you the job.
Get around the system.
Peter Capelli takes it a step further.
Get to somebody who knows the person who is doing the hiring and can make the case to them. You know, that's the best way around this conundrum of the applicant tracking systems and the software not being smart enough to process everybody correctly.
And perhaps you shouldn't even bother with online applications, says Nick Korkodilos.
The whole secret is think carefully about where you'd like to work. Even if you're young, life is short. You're going to have very few good jobs in your life. So ask yourself, who are the shining light companies you'd love to work for? Pick those companies out and go pursue them like a mad dog.
Not the most encouraging advice for a rational human.
They keep saying there's thousands of jobs out there. I only want one.
But perhaps more practical than relying on cyberspace in 2012.
On our website, we profile 2 people who have been burned by the complexities and frustration of job hunting online. And we're taking your job search questions for expert headhunter Nick Korkodilos. Submit those on Paul's Making Sense page.